Morning students. Today on 5th of May 2020, I Anita, your facilitator in learning English, welcome you all to yet another online learning session. Dear students, before we begin with today's session, I want you to identify the personality who is being talked about in this question. Just give it a try. In 2001, he was awarded India's highest civilian award, that is the Bharat Ratna. With the coveted award resting on his chest and his eyes glinting with rare happiness, he said, "All I would like to say is, teach your children music. This is Hindustan's richest tradition. Even the West is now coming to learn our music." Let me mention here, students, I am not sitting in a temple or attending a wedding. The music which is being played in the background is a hint to the answer of this question. Well, if you have been able to identify, very good. The others who haven't yet been able to identify, do not worry, I'll be telling you. So, students, the personality was the SHEHNAI Maestro, Ustad Bismillah Khan. You can see Ustad ji playing the SHEHNAI in these two pictures. So, students, today we are going to discuss part second, the SHEHNAI of Bismillah Khan, of unit second, the sound of music of your main textbook, that is Beehive. Unit second is a non-fictional prose which comprises of these two biographical pieces telling us about Evelyn Glennie and Bismillah Khan, who achieved success and recognition through their determination, hard work, and courage. Both of them created new sounds of music which fascinated the hearts of the listeners. And today, we will see how the whole life of Bismillah Khan is an example of success, a rightful example of success through his sheer determination, his dedication, and hard work. So, students, let me mention here that we will be discussing the chapter in two parts. First, we will be looking at the facts related to SHEHNAI, and then we will see the tryst of Bismillah Khan with music, the finesse of Khan as a musician, his journey as a musician. So let us begin. So let us talk about the origin of SHEHNAI. Dear students, the precursor, the instrument which existed before and which eventually led to the development of SHEHNAI was pungi. It was the instrument which produced harsh, shrill, and unpleasant sound when played. Therefore, it was banned by Emperor Aurangzeb. So it was no more allowed to be played in royal courts. This is how a pungi looked like. So when it was banned, there was a barber who came from a family of musicians. He took the onus to improve the tonal quality of the pungi. Let us see how he did that. He took a pipe with a natural hollow stem, which was longer and broader than pungi. So this is the distinction which you need to remember. He made 7 holes on it and then played on it. How did he play? By closing and opening some of its holes. Dear students, the result was desirable. It produced a sweet, soft, and melodious sound. And this is the present day SHEHNAI, which all of you must have seen. So, when the result was found to be desirable by the barber, he took the next course of action. He played it before royalty, and everyone liked it. Everyone was impressed. So, this is the story behind the naming of SHEHNAI. The first part, Sheh, comes from that it was played in Shah's chambers by a Nai. So, Nai, the second part, therefore, it was named Shehnai. Students, slowly the sound of Shehnai came to be viewed as auspicious, and people started relating it to happy ceremonies like marriages. But what is to be noted here is the credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage completely goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. Let us see that now. So, beginning with the birth, he was born on 21st March 1916 in Bihar, and luckily, the music, it was in Bismillah Khan's blood because his ancestors were great Shehnai players. But that doesn't mean that he got renowned for his music, for playing Shehnai because of his ancestry. No, it was his own hard work which brought him success worldwide. So let us talk about his ancestors. His grandfather, Rasool Bux Khan, was the Shehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpur king's court. His father, Paigambar Bux, and other paternal ancestors were also great Shehnai players. Then his maternal uncle Ali Bux was employed to play Shehnai in this Vishnu temple in Benares, and Bismillah was fascinated at watching his uncle practice the Shehnai or playing the Shehnai. He started accompanying his uncle, and slowly he started getting lessons in playing the instrument and would sit practicing throughout the day. Here, you need to remember the favorite places of Bismillah Khan where he sat and practiced throughout the day. The places were number one, the temple of Balaji and Mangalabhaiya, and most important, banks of the river Ganga. The flowing waters of the Ganga inspired him to put together and create, improvise ragas that were earlier considered to be beyond that range of the Shehnai. Now, I would like to mention some of the memorable performances and achievements of Bismillah Khan. Dear students, with the opening of All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938, came Bismillah's big break. Big break means an opportunity which leads to the professional success of a person. So, this was the most important thing which came his way, and he soon became an often heard Shehnai player on radio. Next, he was the first Indian, yes, the first Indian to greet the nation by playing Raag Kafi from the ramparts of the Red Fort on the occasion of the Independence Day, 15th August 1947, when we got freed from the vicious clutches of the British rule. Not only did he get recognition in the nation, but he got fame from all over the world. The first trip abroad was to Afghanistan. There, King Zahir Shah was highly impressed by him, and he gifted him priceless souvenirs like Persian carpets, etc. And then he also did venture in film music, again bringing in huge success. But since he could not come to terms with the glamour in this celluloid world, the ventures were limited to two, namely Gunjuti Shehnai and Sanadi Aparna. Now, whenever somebody works hard, awards and recognition do come thick and fast. And similar happened with Bismillah Khan. So he was the first Indian who was invited to perform at the Lincoln Center Hall in the USA. And he also took part in the World Exposition in Montreal, in the Cannes Art Festival, and in the Osaka Trade Fair. Not only that, a great achievement, an auditorium in Teheran has been named after him, TAHAR MOSIQUEE Ustad Bismillah Khan. How great, isn't it? Now, coming to the national level, after talking about the international fame which he got, he was conferred with all the four national awards, Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, and then in 2001 he was conferred with the highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna, which we've talked about at the beginning of the session. Now, it has to be mentioned here that he was rooted to the soil. Despite traveling to many countries, he was exceedingly fond of Banaras and Dumrao. And he has mentioned, he mentioned it time and again, that these two were the most wonderful towns of the world. I would mention an anecdote here which would justify this thing. Once, one of the students of Bismillah Khan wanted him to head a Shehnai school in the USA. And since the student knew his guru, he knew about his love for Banaras and Ganga. The student promised to recreate the atmosphere of Banaras by replicating the temples there. Do you know how Khan Sahib reacted to that? He said that, would you be able to transport river Ganga also there? So obviously that was a clear cut no to the offer from his side, because he would not find the river Ganga there. So he kept on mentioning it, that whenever he would stay in a foreign land, his heart always kept pounding and aching for his homeland. Dear students, Ustad Bismillah Khan's life is a perfect example of secularism and rich cultural heritage of India. Because being a devout Muslim, he very naturally played the Shehnai every morning at the Kashi Vishwanath temple, because he believed that music has no religious or racial colors. Lastly, he passed away on 21st of August 2006 at the age of 90 after a prolonged illness. He was given a state funeral and the government of India declared one day of national mourning. Henceforth, the lesson brings out his humility, his patriotism, and dedication to music. I hope all of you have understood it. Thank you and have a great day ahead.